Hi, my name's Andrew Paul and I'm here with Scott Rogan. This is the first video for Next Level Cinema. We're going to be introducing you to Next Level, what it's all about, what it means and why it's important in the home theatre space. Scott, do you want to give us a bit of background on Next Level?
So the core difference or background for us is actually the specialist training and certification we've gained over the years. And it's really based off the big three elite associations out there, which is ISF Video, HAA Acoustics, and the famed THX Cinema.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about ISF first of all?
Sure. So ISF Image Science Foundation. This is run by Joel Silver out of the USA, right out of the USA. And it's all about recreating the cinematic video in the home. And people might think, I've got a flash TV, so I've got great video, when in fact the accuracy is actually a long way off. So you really do love your video, then hunting down an ISF certified calibrator is actually going to have you seen the video as the studio and what the cinema is actually achieved.
So an obvious question here, so you're telling me if you take a TV out of the box, plug it in, and even if you went through some of those settings, it's not right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you've got sport mode, dynamic, natural, vivid, movie, and I think everyone's seen that we're all a little bit different and you kind of settle on one or the other. But you know, what does the brightness and contrast really mean? They're the easy controls. What about the color space and the gamma control, how it ramps up and controls the light? All of these fine-tuned adjustments, they're actually there for a reason. It's for getting it spot on. Unfortunately, the TV and the projector manufacturers don't actually see this as a thing that they need to do. And end of the day, each product comes out a little bit different. It's like a car engine. Not every single engine which is built the same actually is going to perform the same.
So what's the end result if you get something calibrated, you know, to ISF standards? What can the people out there expect?
Look, what you're going to see is something that looks a whole lot more real, and you know that's the experience of cinema and escaping into a movie is you know, that suspension of disbelief. It's allowing yourself to believe in the unbelievable, and when the green grass looks a bit lime and fluoro, it's a constant reminder to us, if we like it or not, even subconsciously, that what we're watching isn't real. So the more realism we can create, the more you can escape.
Okay, you talked about HAA. Who is HAA?
The other big one, so HAA is Jerry Lemaine. So it's Home Acoustics Alliance, which is the study and the art of small room acoustics. Now this is important because a small room, which is anything under about, say, 15 meters in length, which means any home system is classified small, has very different you know, behavioural issues or character than larger spaces, concert halls or live venues. So an acoustician that's great at doing restaurants and live venues is going to struggle in a small space. So we focus on that because that's what's important to us, and of course multi-channel sound. And I guess a bit of extra training in the acoustic or audio space, which you managed to do, was Dr. Floyd Toole.
That was huge, yeah.
Yeah, retired before I got the chance to check it out, though maybe you can talk a bit about Floyd's influence on the industry.
Look, absolutely. Floyd has a long history in the audio or acoustic industry. He has a history with Harman Industries. He is the man who really said that we need more information. One of the famous things he says is there's more information on the sidewall of a tyre about its performance than there is in a loudspeaker. You know, when you go into a shop, people will talk about its performance, but the figures they give you are actually almost irrelevant. And so we learnt a lot about what quality sound is out of a loudspeaker, and price isn't always the defining indicator. Floyd has done so much work in this area, and we were, you know, very privileged to gain experience from him. He's got some great books out there as well, but it took our knowledge to just another level again.
And it's also, it's not just the technical elements as well, but it's the psychoacoustics. It's why understanding how the humans experience sound and audio, which allows us to make some much better decisions in designing, acoustic spaces, and choice of products and where those products go in a room.
So that's really important, and we'll get to that shortly about getting the room right. And the third one, of course, everybody's heard the big sound, seen the amazing images in the cinema, and the sound that's swirled around. That's actually just been rejigged,
remastered,
right?
THX.
The THX sound. And tell us a little bit about THX.
Yeah, so it was 2010. We both visit Melbourne to see, that time, John Dahl, the right-hand man at Skywalker Studios, THX. Awesome dude, and we got to session a week there learning about THX's story, the values and the technical aspects that they've always seen as important with creating the playback of cinema. Of course, they started doing this in early 80s for the commercial space, and it was actually as early as, I think, 1993, I'm sure it is, they created standards for the home space. And the science and the physics and the principles that were set out then are still true today. It's just unfortunate that a lot of those values have been smothered by marketing and diamond tweeters and other things that make consumers buy stuff. So the THX approach is really looking at the entire room, the entire system, and how that creates or puts you into the story.
But it's really involved, isn't it? I mean, it's not just any one thing. It's about how close you sit to a screen. Can your eyes resolve the pixels? And, I think it's pretty simple. At the end of the day, if you follow the rules of ISFHA, THX, you're going to have a knockout experience. If you ignore them, as they say in some things, you ignore them at your peril, right?
Yeah, look, this is the rule book, and every cinema has some compromise, and by understanding the principles behind the rules allow us to make things work the best it can. There's no such thing as a perfect room and a perfect system. So it's that negotiation that's sort of the art in what engineering a room and calibrating a room does. But these rules there that shouldn't be broken, and yet we see it all the time.
Okay, so we've taken all that experience. We've moulded it and formed it into Next Level Cinema. And how is Next Level Cinema being delivered to the industry and to the customers?
Sure, so we've teamed up and we figured, look, let's do a lot more work out there, and who's already doing some work is obviously the guys that are delivering the products. And we've talked to the best guys in WA that are passionate and have the same, direction for quality, and they're obviously already talking to customers that have huge expectations. It's not just about buying some boxes and having a go. They actually want that experience. So by working in with our dealers and partners, then we're able to get involved with existing systems at a calibration level, or even for new systems where your dealer will work with you through a design process. You may even choose a really thorough engineering and calculation spec on the room, which we can work in at that level. So when we come out the other end, then it truly is the best that money can buy.
So we've found a lot of people in years in the industry now that have had bad experiences. Is Next Level going to make a difference to that? I guess people are spending money and they're not getting that value now. You coined a phrase which I love, which is performance value, right? Do you want to explain? Because I think performance value is really important.
Sure, yes. So people go, it's a great value system. It's like, how much money did I save on the amplifier and the projector and the screen? And I saved some money from the retail price or whatever. But collectively as a system, how hard is it performing? And it's really difficult to judge how great a home cinema system performs, because you've hardly ever got someone sitting in the seat that's experienced much other than their own system or their friends and maybe the cinemas. These how do you know if you got a winner or a loser? And most systems we come across are performing well under their potential. even if we'd like some parts of the system to change, it doesn't matter. As it is, it could be performing better. So we want to see a system. If you throw in 10 or 50 grand, whatever the number is, you want to squeeze every bit out of it. If it was a race car, you want this thing to be going as fast around the laps as possible. And that's what our job is. We spend time with specific test instruments that can measure results. Video is very clear. With audio, then there's a lot of adjustment, a lot of critical listening involved. And we can get a system going from, middle to end of the pack to a, first place contender just by spending some time with it.
So you're saying if you engage with Next Level Cinema at the end of the day, you can avoid the pitfalls, you can extract 100% of the performance out of the equipment that you've paid for with relatively little extra cost. You can certainly, avoiding those mistakes is a big deal. You and I both know, and we'll be talking about this in some of our other videos. We'll be doing a series called Epic Fails, which it's sad but true, and it will be based on our experiences going to cinemas and finding out what's been done, and people will learn from that. But we want, obviously, to avoid that experience for people. So if people do go to a Next Level dealer, then they can then get the engineered room correct. They can get the room designed properly so that it works with all the equipment that they're choosing to buy.
Exactly. So really the correct process, if you're starting from scratch, is the room. It's the fundamental component. And without getting too technical, with the whole base thing, base builds up in the room in different places. We need these seats to be in the sweet spot. We know where the seats are. We kind of have an idea what sort of screen is relatively big or small for that seating position. We then know where the speakers should go, and when we know where the speakers should go, we know where the reflections and the acoustic behaviour of the room is going to occur, and then we can actually start to plot an actual room design, and of course which products are going to support that design. So an engineered or calculated room is going to lead to the right products, and then a good installation, and then a final calibration, which is going to be world class.
Okay, so at the end of the day, it's going to be about customers getting equipment that works in the room designed properly so that it works with the equipment they've just bought. It's the calibration so that all of the equipment's optimized. It's working with those dealers to get the very best, result for their home, and they're going to know exactly what they've got at the end of the day.
It's peace of mind. I mean, it's huge value for the dealers out there to know that system is the best it can be. No one's going to come in and make that better. No competition's going to come in and go, oh, that should be done like this. And so you're not leaving yourself open for someone to outdo you. And of course, the results are so damn good. The repeat business and the word of mouth is phenomenal. We're certainly seeing a lot of that with some other project work that we're doing. And of course, as an end user, why wouldn't you want to get every dollar's worth out of your system? It's a bit of a no-brainer, really.
Yeah. So stay in touch with Next Level, with Next Level TV especially. We'll be feeding you a lot of information about existing technologies, even old technologies. We'll be talking, as we said, about the epic fails in the rooms. So it'll be Next Level Cinema Confidential. We'll be going into people's houses and actually having a look at the pros and cons and stripping back cinema systems there.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the big one, which is ultra high definition and
the
HDR.
Yeah.
That's going to be really interesting. So talk to your Next Level dealers. When you go in, look for dealers who are dealing with Next Level Cinema to make sure that you're getting the results that you expected in the first place. You got any sort of final comments or tips for the people who are watching this video?
Look, if you want to start making a difference, then start today. Doesn't matter if you're building a new home and the room hasn't been designed yet, that's the perfect time to start. If you've got an existing system and you're thinking of upgrading it, maybe getting a calibration of the room as it is will then help determine what that next product's going to be. So yeah, look, the sooner you get involved with some serious design engineering and calibration, the quicker you're going to start getting big results.
I guess the last thing is, you know, how do people find someone who's dealing with Next
Well, if
Level?
you're watching this video, we've got a list and a link to our site which has all our partners. Everyone that we've linked to are people that we know deal with great product and are just as serious about performance as what we are. So you can be well looked after with those guys. And for anyone that isn't, then you know you're rolling the dice.
So at the end of the day, those are the guys who supply the Ferrari components. We're the guys who tune it up and make sure that you get that wow experience.
Yeah, we're in pit lane doing the tweaking and the tuning and all that stuff. And you know the hot engine, the amplifier, the suspension systems, all that sort of stuff. Obviously your dealers look after that gear.
Great. So thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye on Next Level. Stay tuned to Next Level TV, and we wish you the very best with your project. Also, I guess you can always email Next Level Cinema for any information, and we always welcome technical questions, so we'd love to give you feedback on those, and thank you for joining us.
Cool, thank you. See ya.